A good and a blessed Sunday to you, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ. In the Gospel of today, this fourth Sunday of Easter, Jesus talks about the beautiful relationship which is there between the shepherd and the sheep. And on the other hand, the relationship which is not there between the sheep and the thief who comes only to steal. You see, reading Gospels like this warms my heart. It warms my heart because it reminds me of a life that I have lived. As you might know, I grew up in a farm, so most of my time as a teenager and even beyond that was spent out in the forest with the animals as a shepherd. And when I look at the relationship which I had with those animals, it is amazing. At times, it is even unbelievable that when you tell someone, they say, no, you're just telling stories. All the animals had names. And when you call its name when it's going the wrong direction, it will hear, it will know, and it will turn and go the direction where others are going. So with those hours and hours out in the forest, just myself and the animals, I learned to know them individually. And they learned to know me as their shepherd and to trust me and to do everything that I will command them to do. And within the big herd of cattle or goats or sheep, as that relationship grew, I knew who were the ringleaders. I knew that if this one is there, everyone is there. Because all others will not go when this one is there because he's the leader. And when I'm angry, they will know that when I call once and they will even run going the direction which they are supposed to go. To the extent that even the noises which they will make when you talk of cows, I could make a distinction to know, no, this one is so and so. And Jesus uses that image, the image between the shepherd and the sheep, that he knows them by name and they listen to him, they follow him because they've had a relationship with him, because they trust him from their experience that he protects them and he leads them where there is plentiful pasture. He leads them where there is water to quench their thirst, and he protects them from the wild animals and the thieves. So they, in a way, put their lives in the hands of the shepherd. He says, they follow me. They listen to my voice. This made me think when Jesus talks of followers. You see, in the world of today, with the technology which we have in many different places where we spend time in social media, you hear people say, I have so many followers. I think it's Twitter. And these other things that these celebrities will have followers. And there is a relationship between this person who is followed and the people who follow that person. An amazing relationship, if I may put it that way. That person, whenever they get up in the morning, they think of their followers to say, today, what do I post for my followers? And the followers are checking time and again. So and so hasn't said anything. They haven't posted anything. What is happening? We follow soccer players. We follow musicians to the extent that we start dressing like them. We start having haircuts like they do. We start walking the way they walk. We start talking the way they talk. And wherever they are living, I mean, they know that there is a number. If it's on social media, they have 10,000 followers, but they don't know all the names of their followers. They don't even know if one of the followers is sick, if one of the followers die, if one of the followers is in need. No. And yet we follow them. Yet we imitate them. Yet we believe everything that they do and say. I was saying to myself, how much more should we do what Jesus does? Should we say what Jesus says as the good shepherd, and we the sheep who are the followers of Jesus? Because far much better than the celebrities of our day, Jesus knows me by name. Jesus has a special relationship with me. Jesus is concerned about my well-being. Jesus is happy when I'm happy. He is sad when I'm sad. And yet, when I look at the relationship which we have with Jesus, it lacks time and again. Actually, the relationship which we have with celebrities is far much stronger. And how possible could that be, my dear brothers and sisters? People who live in when you are starving in your house, you have nothing to eat, when they don't know what to do with their money, they wouldn't even be able, because they don't know you, to send something to say, hey, please do help yourself here. But here is Jesus, the good shepherd, who says, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Here is Jesus, the good shepherd, who came and even handed himself over to the hands of the authorities, who suffered, who died. Not because there was anything in for him there, but because there was everything in for me, for you, for all of us, for our good. How often do I listen to the voice of Jesus as the shepherd? How often do I do what he tells me to do as the shepherd? Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, I think this is a very, very big challenge to all of us, that we should re-examine the relationship which we have with Jesus. Is there any relationship? If there is, what kind of a relationship is it? Have I reached that stage of a sheep which places its life, its well-being on the hands of the shepherd? Let us pray that every day of our lives we may continue to grow in our relationship with Jesus. that we may learn to spend more time with Jesus, because it is when we spend more time with him that we get to know him better, that he gets to know us better, and that we get to develop that relationship, so that whenever he calls, even in the midst of a million voices, I'm able to pick his voice and do what he says. Questions for discussion. What is my relationship with Jesus? How do I nourish that relationship which I have with Jesus? What role have I played in facilitating the growth of that relationship with Jesus? Do I listen to his voice? Do I do as he says? Mary will say at the wedding of Cana, do whatever he tells you. Is that me? Amen.